Morning, y'all. Today we're going to be talking about linear inequalities. We've already done a lot with inequalities, so this should just be kind of a reminder or a refresher of a lot of information you should already have. So let's look at our notes for today. So we want to solve the equation 9r plus 15 equals 24 plus 10r. So this is just like our standard linear equation. So I want to get my r's by itself. So I have 9r, I have 10r. I can move either one of them. I always like to keep my r's positive. So that's why I'm choosing to subtract 9r from both sides, because that will cancel out over on the left. And on the right, I'll end up with 10r minus 9r, which gives me 1r. Then we get 15 is equal to 24 plus. Okay, so far so good with our solving. Next thing I want to move, right now I have this 24 next to my 1r, so I'm going to subtract that 24 from both sides. So minus 24, minus 24. 15 minus 24, if you don't know that, you can of course type that in your calculator, but that gives you 9. 24 is cancel out on the right side. So we get 9 is equal to 1r, or just r is equal to 9 as our final answer. Okay, so should be pretty familiar with solving an equation. When we come over and we solve an inequality, so same exact equation, same exact steps. We're not going to switch anything up about how we work through this process. So same exact thing. I want to go ahead and solve for r, but let's mix up. This time, let's move my r to the other side. So instead, I'm going to minus 10r to both sides. So that will give me negative 1r, because I did 9 minus 10, plus 15 is less than or equal to 24, and the 10r and the negative 10r will just cancel out. Okay, then next, just like last time, this time I need to subtract 15 because it's over by my negative 1r, so minus 15 minus 15. So I end up with negative 1r. Negative 15 and positive 15 cancel out. Less than or equal to 24 minus 15, this time is positive 9. Okay, and while it looks like I'm done, I'm not quite done. I do need to get rid of that negative. So to get rid of that negative 1, I can just divide by a negative 1. And that gives me r, and instead of less than or equals, the one extra trick with inequalities is that if you divide or multiply by a negative number, only divide or multiply, not add or subtract, but divide or multiply by a negative number, we do have to switch the inequality sign. So r is greater than or equal to, and then negative 9, because 9 divided by negative 1, number stays the same, sign is going to change. Okay, so solving steps are mostly the same. I could have done the exact same ones for the first part if I just chose to move the 10 first instead of the 9. And on number 1, you probably thought I was crazy because I didn't actually write the negative 9. Okay, so I got the same thing for r each time, except instead of r being equal to 9, for the inequality, r is greater than or equal to negative 9. So then we can come on to our number line, and we can really start it anywhere, but I always like it to be where if you are making your number line from scratch, I just stick my number in the middle. Makes it nice and easy. So negative 9. And then because it is greater than or equal to, if you remember, that means I need to put a closed dot at the point, and then greater than or equal to, so it needs to be greater than negative 9. Remember, to the left is negatives, to the right is positives. So greater than negative 9 is going to go towards the right, towards the positive direction. Okay, you can also remember it as your inequality sign points in the direction you need to draw your arrow. So greater than or equal to, see how it points to the right? That's why I drew my arrow to the right. Okay, let's do another one from scratch. See if we can get it right. Okay, we want to solve the following inequality and graph on the number line. 4f plus 2 is less than 8f minus 6x minus 10. Okay, so first and foremost, I got to deal with those parentheses. So this is a negative 1, because sometimes we just get lazy. So I'm going to take my negative 1 and distribute it to my 6f and my negative 10. So negative 1 times 6f is negative 6f. -1 times -10 is +10. And then everything else stays the same. From here, I have to look if I have any like terms. I do have 8f and -6f. So 8f and -6f combined to be 8 minus 6 would be 2. So 2f plus 10 is less than 4f plus 2. Okay, and from here, I can move my f's over. So I'll subtract the 2f so I can keep my f's positive. And last but not least, -2 minus 2. And then, very final thing, 2 in front of f, I want to divide that 2 to get rid of it. So we get f is less than 8 divided 2 would just be 4. So not too terrible in terms of the steps. Everything should feel pretty familiar. So f is less than 4, so we're going to go over to our number line. Once again, I like to stick a bunch in here and just stick 4 smack dab in the middle. You know, close to the middle. Less than, which is pointing to the left. Less than is also fewer values, so to the left. And then because it is less than but not equal to, so just less than, I do an open circle. And draw that arrow to the left. So just as a reminder and a refresher for today in our inequality signs, so this is greater than or equal to, or sorry, greater than. So greater than, which means our arrow to the right, open circle when graphing. Okay. Next one over is greater than or equal to. So when we add that little line underneath, that makes it equal to. And so this is still arrow to the right, but closed-in dot. And then down after that one, to the left is less than, left less than. And this is arrow to the left. But then once again, open circle, because we are not equal to. And then over on the bottom right corner, this is less than or equal to, because we had that little line. Which means still arrow to the left, because it's still less than. But closed dot instead, because that equals to. I'm going to try to write that again. Closed dot. Okay, so both of our left pointing arrows for left pointing inequality signs mean arrow to the left. Both of our right pointing inequality signs mean arrow to the right. No equals to, so no line underneath means open circle. Line underneath, so equals to means closed dot. Just good little refreshers. And of course, you can always have these in front of you as you are practicing today. But that is just kind of our basic refresher on inequalities, y'all. We're going to be practicing those today and then learning some more in the days to come.